Well, here's a very unusual survivor from the 1980s. The Philips F6335 stereo cassette deck. And it's a full servo affair. No clunky controls on this. It's all soft touch. A bit like the Country. But it's a beautifully engineered piece of kit. The flywheel on it is made out of some sort of almost ceramic material. 2 motors in there. I'm very surprised to see that they're the same sort of motors that powered the original cassette recorder back in the early 60s. How about that? And the deck was built in Belgium, so it must be one of the last European built examples, I guess. And well, you've got quite a few nice features. Line in or microphone and DIN plug on the back. It still has a 5-pin DIB, and 2 mic sockets there, headphones here, Dolby, and you've even got B&C here, and then normal Crow metal tapes. Not quite sure what MPX RIF is. It might be some kind of a beat cancel switch, so when you're recording from AM like a boombox, it gets rid of the whistling noise. Almost inevitable 80s LED bar graph meters. The counter is mechanical and just done by a belt, but it is a lovely machine, this. But now, a lot of people like cheese, don't we? I have to say I like cheese, but I do not like cheese in tape decks. And Philips, after years of getting complaints about dodgy rubber belts, went in the 1980s for a gear drive system, largely gear driven. The only trouble was that some of the gears they used were made out of a sort of plastic which, after a few years, turned to the consistency of stale red Leicester cheese, and this is what had happened to this deck. And if you don't believe me, there is the gear, and you can see that it's shed gear teeth. They just strip, and in fact that is a gear tooth. And that was the only gear like that in this deck. The rest of them were made of proper nylon stuff. Well, when I see red Leicester cheese gears, I often think to myself, well, that's it, dump it, because you know, it's no good. And they were also a non-standard gear pitch. But rummaging around in the shed, I came across a green nylon gear, and offering it up to compare the size, it turned out to have, I think, a couple more teeth than this did, but it was the same overall diameter as far as I could see. So the pitch was about right, the size was about right, so I had to bore it out and do what Philips should have done in the first place and put a little sinter bronze bearing in the middle, because it lives down inside there. Another unusual thing about this is that all the time the deck is switched on, the flywheel is merrily beetling round there. And you probably can't see it, but you can just about see down there my transplanted gear. Well, maybe you can't. Now, these are a bit noisy during rewind and fast forward when not on load anyway, but as it turns out, by sheer luck and a bit of ingenuity, there we are. Eat that, Mr. Planned Obsolescence. You know where you can go. Yeah, it is nice when you can do that sort of thing, isn't it? And wind on and stop. speed is spot on, nice and steady, no flutter or wow or anything, just like it ought to be. So, well, that's just about the first one with red Leicester cheese gears in it that I've actually managed to get to run again. And by sheer coincidence and good luck, really, you know. I don't profess to be anything more than a backstreet tinkerer. Anyway, it's getting late, so see you soon.